Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Media Man. It's late o'clock, and I mean it's nearly 10:30. I just want to thank Door on Tour for kindly giving me some time to do this. I've just finished work, and we're going to be talking about the amazing signing of this man, Moussa Niakhaté. He joins from Mans on I have actually updated the valuation there on a different presentation, which is just this one. He's cost £12.82 million, and we're going to be getting into the nitty and gritty of that signing. And we're also going to be talking a little bit about Steve Cooper's new contract. When is it happening? What are your thoughts on that? And it's been agreed in principle, but nothing set in stone yet. So welcome to everybody joining. Please comment down below if you can, and I'll make sure that I answer some of your stuff. Just kind of say hello to you all. We've got Stian, Evening Jay, great signing. Just need a left wing back and two mids. Richards, I think, as Dor said rightly on his stream, I think he's got the acceleration, he's got the pace, he's got the ability to cross a ball in. I think you're probably going to get you closest to a player like Spence, obviously on the left though. So I think he's a really, really, really good idea to have. Can you have him and Toffolo though? I don't really know. So what do you guys think? Can you have both? I mean, I would 100% take them for what a combined cost of 12 million. Absolutely. But I've not got just me on the stream tonight. So not seen any Stephen Reed footage. That's an interesting one. I hope he's not. I know that there was interest in managerial career. So yeah, lots going on there. But joining me today, we have got Ez, and I caught him off guard there completely. Ez, welcome to the stream. It's great to have you. I hope you're well. I know it's late, but how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm really well. How are you, mate? Yeah, it is late. Yeah, definitely is late. But thank you, Dor, for giving us a chance for Jay to stream. That's great.
Absolutely. And I just want to say, I mean, I know that probably it's not going to be anything massive tonight in terms of viewers, because this is really late. I've literally finished work maybe half an hour, 45 minutes ago. So I've rushed home to come and do this. Evening, Ben. Evening, Miri. Evening, Eve. I hope you're doing well. Oh, yeah. Said hello, Ez. Okay, then I guess I'm just not existent now. And I know that you're all on shirt watch at the moment. So I've got the replica England one on.
Are you trolling me now, are you, with the England shirt?
I mean, there might have been some intention in it, but I can't confirm nor deny. Now, today has been a turbulent day because whilst I've been at work, I've been absolutely, well, I say slaughtered on Twitter. Actually, I think I've got more support than I have people slaughtering me on the app, because somebody from Derby has used a picture of Lewis McGugan instead of David McGoldrick when talking about David McGoldrick. It is the and I don't want to use the word, but the cock up of the century. It really is bad. So I was looking at what they had posted, and it was just basically a player timeline. And I thought, do you know what? I like McGoldrick. I've always thought he was, a decent player. I've got nothing against him. Obviously, I think him joining Derby, I'm just like, oh, okay, but I've got nothing against him. Good player. And I noticed halfway down that hold on a minute, that is not McGoldrick at all. That's Lewis McGugan. And I'm going to try and get you this screenshot here. But as you can see, sorry, I'm trying to calibrate this, but you can see very faintly that is not David McGoldrick that they used on a player biography. That is in fact Lewis McGugan. So we've tagged Lewis McGugan, see what he says about that, but that is a real cock up by them. So before I answer that, are you okay, Jim? I'm all good, Eva. I'm okay. You didn't say it like that. It's fine. We got Keith there. Evening, Jamie and Ez. Please no singing tonight. I know we can't be doing that because it's bad. It's bad enough as it is given the timing. We want to at least have more than 6 people in, don't we? Evening all, Jimmy. I hope you're well. Good to have you in the stream. This is the 7th stream in 7 days. I must admit, I felt a bit of burnout today. I've felt it today. But I've got my energy back, so I don't know if that's just the post-finish working enjoyment. I don't know. We're back tomorrow at 8 as well, but don't forget. Mart's there. Alrighty, fellow Reds. Hope you're doing well, Mart's. Love how Ez is becoming Jay's wingman. Regular feature now. Great to see you again. I love talking to Ez. That's why. He's so easy to talk to. You're so great to talk to as well. And you've got a vast amount of knowledge that I just think is so useful for people watching the stream. So, yeah. big shout out to Wes there, absolute legend by popular demand. Yeah, we're back. Thank you to Dor for shouting us out and giving us a bit of time to do this, because I know that we had to tell him on short notice to cut off, maybe ask him if he can cut off his show a bit earlier. Celtic begin pre-season tour with thumping win over SCV now. Wow, okay, fair play. I mean, I like Celtic, so good for them. I'm pretty happy with that. Evening, boys. Evening, Daryl. Evening, Lewis. Yeah, don't you worry, guys. I will be doing a fantasy Premier League team reveal on this stream, so I'll be talking more about that. Gamer136, hope you're doing well. And Andrew, welcome. Guys, if you haven't already, do subscribe. We're so close off 500. We're literally 10 subscribers off 500. And to think we would ever get there is a dream. So to actually get there would be just amazing, wouldn't it? So if you can all help me out, just subscribe, like, and please share this to any groups as well, friends that you might know. But let's get into the discussion, because, as much as I'd love to talk to you about getting subscribers, this man is the man that we want to be talking about. Moussa Niakhaté, absolutely brilliant signing from Mans over in Germany. And he signs for £12.82 million. So that's roughly what it was based on the currency check I did earlier. And he's the third most expensive player in the club's history, João Carvalho being the second. Now, he signed on a 4-year deal, so he's here till 2026, I think it is. 2026. So what are your thoughts on that? It's a big signing. I wouldn't say it's a statement signing by any means. I do think it's a quality signing. And I think for 12.82 million, you're getting a really, really solid player.
Absolutely. He's one player I remember I said, but we might have to kind of just pay a little bit more than we'd want to. And I think it's going to be worth every penny. I think he's a quality player. And I do think he's a statement signing. I think there's a lot of clubs who would have wanted him, to be honest. Others did go for him, and it looked like the deal was dead at one point. But if that was the case, then it just shows how well, again, our acquisitions team and our recruitment team are doing and securing these deals, to bring it back from the dead and secure it. Fantastic, And on a 4-year deal, he's approaching the absolute peak of his career, hopefully, and he's going to do it with us. He's one that I think we'll look at and think was, but hopefully by the end of the season, and I'm thinking too far ahead as always, but by the end of the season, we were looking back and saying he was one of our best signings. And we got him in early, we got him in early enough, let's be fair, a lot of, there's a few fans thinking that we're dragging our heels on these deals. And I don't believe that's the case at all. Like I said, the turnover of the end of last season to the start of a new season is such a short turnaround that the players had to be given their rest. Pre-season is going to be a lot more, a lot shorter basically than normally would be, in my opinion. And then you're going into the new season, so the timing with deals really well, in my opinion. There's nothing wrong in with what I've seen so far, and I'm so amazed by some of the deals that we've got. Like I say, there's players that we hadn't heard of, and then there's players that as soon as we had heard of them, we're like, yeah, we want him. What not? And Niakhate was one of those. Niakhate and the one year. As soon as I heard we were linked with them, they're two that I really, really wanted us to try and secure, and really. He looks solid. He looks really, really good, and I love the way this club were teasing it as well, and showing and not showing photos and things like that. So yeah,
I missed out on all of that. I was so gutted. Do you know what? I waited around literally all day, and I was sitting doing absolutely nothing, constantly monitoring Twitter, waiting for something, contacting people saying, is anything happening at the club now? What's going on? People in Spain, have you seen anything? Because I've got a few friends over there now that have been to watch them train today, and they were all like, no, there's nothing. And I'm like, okay, it's 4:00. Give me something. And then nothing. 4:30. Come on, I can do a quick 5 minutes. No, nothing. And of course, 5, 6 o'clock, it's all out there. And I'm thinking, do you know what? Just that's so typical. But do you know what? I like the way they've done it. I think Miltardis, he's done a lot of teasing as well, and I love that. But, someone's made a very good point in the comments that we have spent a decent amount of money. Total spend so far, 36.32 million. You've got 4 players, including a loan. You've got Awoniyi, Biancone, and Niakhate now. You've got Neco Williams looking like he's going to sign. I know that John Percy's saying that they want 16 million now. So they have increased that valuation by £1 million. And I know that Southampton are also interested, but I do think it comes down to what the player wants in this situation. I think both clubs willing to pay, but I think it's more a case of what Neco Williams wants. And from what I can tell, it would suggest that Neco Williams is definitely more Forest focused. So, and by the way, this is from Door on Tour because he did notice it. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the Neco Williams situation as well? Obviously, it's great to have Niakhate in. He's a fantastic player. But we have to look at Neco Williams as potentially the next signing. He looks the closest, as you know, and potentially Omar Richards as well. 16 million, would you say that's too much, or do you think that's about right?
I think it's about right, to be honest. It's a bidding war now, isn't it? There's more than involved in this now. So Liverpool are doing what we're going to do, and what we would do in that situation. So yeah, I think he's again another one. Maybe we're going to pay a little bit more than we initially wanted, but he's coming. He's such a young player. He's got so much ahead of him. So much potential. Again, it's another one of those Moneyball signings. There's no way if he hits his potential, does what he's sets out to do in the next 3 or 4 years with us, that he wouldn't be worth a hell of a lot more than £16 million by the end of it. So there's a resale value with players like that. Yeah, I think you've got to. We want it. I've been looking at who we're being connected with and who we've been linked with, and I briefly mentioned this to you off air. It's like when you play FIFA Ultimate Team, when you link players who are from the same country or they've got some sort of connection, and it gives you a better score overall. There is definitely some holistic thinking in the players that we're going for, and we're not, like I've said before, we're not shooting fish in a barrel. We've clearly scouted these players. We clearly targeted these players, and we're going for it. And I think we will get him. We will get him. And us as fans shouldn't be moaning about how much we're paying for players, to be honest, because if we're not privy to the finances that go on behind it. There's deals that where so much is paid up front, and then you pay incrementally. Or you pay bonuses, and it's made up with higher pay and bonuses and stuff like that. So there's a lot we don't know. And for any of us to moan about, we paid too much for him, or we paying too much for that, we don't know best. They do know best. And I actually, for first time in a long time, I trust them. I don't think they're gonna, get us into a situation where if it all goes wrong, that we're going to be financially bankrupt. Look at the players we've got. If we got relegated, you think we couldn't sell Niakhate for a profit? You think we couldn't sell all these players that we've got for a profit? Of course we could. So we're not going to be stuck in a financial situation like some other clubs have been. And Fulham have done it. Famously, Fulham did it. Spent a hell of a lot of money and totally switched the team. And this is another point that I want to make, but I don't think I've heard anybody else really make, is what we've got to remember is obviously Cooper got the absolute maximum out of that squad last season, plus the signings he made in January. Signings and the permanent signings he made in January. But they weren't his players. That wasn't his squad. Now we're going to see his squad. Yes, if certain players have to miss out, they have to miss out. But he will be ruthless. You can tell he's a gentleman. He's an honest man, and he doesn't shirk away from responsibility at all. He's not going to tell you one thing to you to do something behind your back. He just doesn't come across as that kind of person. So the players will have to respect his decision, and they will respect his decision. And I don't think he's going to be too sentimental in making the decisions that he's going to make surrounding the squad. So if we do end up buying another 5-6 players, I think it's going to be because he thinks we need them. There's no half measures being taken here. They really have thought long and hard about this. And like I said, I'm sure they had a Premier League list and a Championship list depending on where we would finish, you know. And we've got a green light now to go ahead with the Premier League list, and we're seeing it in action. And I don't, apart from Tottenham, I don't see many clubs doing as much business as us at the moment, and the quality of the business as well. So yeah, there is obviously about new club, and everybody's looking at us and thinking, you know, are they just throwing money at? But from the outside, that's what it might look like. But from the inside, we know it's been very well measured and thought out process. It's not been haphazard at all.
And there's a lot of business still to be done, as you mentioned, and it's important that they just look at players that will, there's going to be rotationary players. There's going to be players that aren't going to play first team every week, perhaps like Biancone, although I wouldn't say that's 100% set in stone that he won't. But I'm just reading some of the comments now. It does take time to get better players signed, because don't forget, technically I know that Forest, within many Premier League, if you ask many Premier League fans, they're favourites to go down kind of thing. So, as much as I don't think we should be, a lot of people will think so, because we've just come up. And we've, technically come in the third place way, if you like. So people are going to think that. So it's going to be, to get players into the squad as well, particularly the top players that you want, it's going to be difficult, but not impossible. So yeah, stay strong on his feet, good tackle, good distribution of the ball. Correct. Yeah, I agree. He's the third most, it was the third most tackles in his own half last season, and he won 69% of all tackles last season that he made. So, he's got a good ratio to it. But I think alongside McKenna and Worrell, or McKenna and Cook, or whoever, Cook, Worrell, and whatever combo you want to go for, I think he'll do really, really well. So we've got, hey up, it's Danny, Bratislava Reds. I hope you're doing well, Danny. Need to catch up soon. Andrew, appreciate your support. Joe Worrell was hinting at the signing. Oh, I missed it all. Can't actually believe it. Neco looks quality. Very excited for that signing. Worth the money. Yeah, and he's a British player as well, so I think it's going to always be inflated. I'm excited in Neco Williams. Him and Brennan will be great together. Yeah, lots of chemistry there. Like the stream if you think Forest is staying up. Absolute guys, come on, keep commenting. Like the stream if you think Forest is staying up, and don't forget to subscribe as well. We are 9 subscribers away from 500. If we could do it by the end of the stream, that would be magical. So it will be amazing if you could just help. Maybe share this video as well. That would be amazing. Now Jack Keenan brings a really, really good point here. Who do you think we will get as for a backup goalkeeper? Now I've heard Hennessy. I think that John Percy was reporting on that just a couple of days ago, that Hennessy was an interest for Forest. If there was a backup keeper that you could sign, and people have mentioned Ben Foster, I don't think that's a bad shout either. I think Hennessy probably more though, for me. What are your thoughts on that? Who would you go for backup keeper wise?
Yeah, you know what? I actually think Hennessy's a very good shout. I would take Wayne Hennessy, and he's an international goalkeeper. He's still playing at a very good level, for somebody, I think he's 37 years old, I'm sure he is. For somebody of that age to be playing still at that level and playing really well. And again, there's the link, there's the Welsh link, there's a FIFA Ultimate Team link, it's not a bad one at all. Because the way I'm looking at it, unless we're hoping that we can, in the background, that we're hoping that some deal can be struck with Dean Henderson once the season's over, you need somebody of experience as backup, I think. And you need somebody who's not going to mind too much about sitting on the bench in the Premier League. I'm sure if it is Wayne Hennessy, he'll get the cup games, he'll probably get all the cup games. And I don't think he'd have an issue with that, to be honest. I don't think there's anybody really challenging him for the Welsh #1 spot. Others might know better in the chat, so please let me know if that is the case. But I don't think anyone's really challenging him. So there's not a risk that he's going to lose a spot for the World Cup, as much as it was for Horvath, And just on a side note, I'm so glad he got a good move. In my opinion, he's got a very good move to Luton, and I hope he gets the opportunity to prove himself for his World Cup bid as well. But going back to a point, yeah, I'd go with Wayne Hennessy. I think he's a really good backup. But unless we're looking to potentially try and get a deal for Dean Henderson at the end of the season, there may be the possibility that we'll sign a younger goalkeeper with potential, but probably nobody's heard of. And imagine him, training in that environment where you got somebody like Wayne Hennessy with bags of experience, somebody like Dean Henderson out there to prove that he's the number one, because he's come with so much to prove. That's what I'm loving about that signing, because he's got so much to prove. If he can get it right, he could be England's number one going into a World Cup, and he knows that in the back of his mind, or maybe it's at the front of his mind. But you got to see that he's going to give us 110% every game. I'm buzzing for it. I think he was the best goalkeeper available at the time, and we signed the best goalkeeper available at the time. Whether it's a loan or whatever, we've got him for the whole season, and there was no better goalkeeper. Pope was tallied around, but I don't think Pope's got the distribution that Henderson's got. And that was something I was doubting, but listening to Maisie, I think her name was, on Door's stream the other day, the Man United fan, she said, he's got some of the best distribution that they've seen, and it's way better than De Gea's for a start. So that worry is not there for me really. We'll see how he plays, but yeah, I think we might even look for a small, young potential goalkeeper to bring into that mix and give him that environment to grow up in, and look for the future as well. Because Dean Henderson, I'd love him to sign at the end of the season, but that might not be a possibility. But you never know with Manu. I'm going to have my tangent about
I know.
Manu.
I was just going to say it's happening.
They're going to waste money again. Guaranteed. They waste at least 200 or 300 million this, not just this transfer window, into January as well. Guaranteed. And hopefully amongst them they buy a goalkeeper, because they think they don't realise they've actually got the best goalkeeper already, but just handed him over to us. But it's a shame is that obviously he's not going to get to play against Man United in those games. But yeah, I'd bring Wayne Hennessy in for those games. Why not? So I think he's the one I'd go for right now. As soon as I heard his name mentioned, not Ben Foster, not for me. I think he's going to challenge you, mate, with his blogging and stuff, and we don't want that. And cycling goalkeepers can stay away, I think.
And it's obviously a massive signing, and as people have mentioned, you've got that Welsh connection. Dean said it here. You have got that Welsh connection. So I think it's really, really important that we stress the idea of building this kind of spider web almost of connections. And it makes the settling in period, as we mentioned over the last couple of streams, makes it much easier for players to settle in if they already know each other. For example, Morgan Gibbs-White, he already knows some of the Forest lads, so it would make sense. And I do want to talk about the Morgan Gibbs-White situation here, because it's been one of debate for me today. Now, there's some rumours going around and some reports going around that that Wolves would want 25 to 30 million pounds for Morgan Gibbs-White. And I was speaking to Lee Clark about this from Nottingham Forest News, and we were saying that for me, and this is just for me, I think the £5 million that you're adding on to the already valuation of 20 million is the final push, if not too far. Don't get me wrong, I completely rate Morgan Gibbs-White, and I think he's perhaps one of the best young midfield prospects probably in England, right? And I know that sounds a statement, but that's how I see it. But as much as I say, yes, pay for potential as well as ability, I think you're paying for potential and ability enough in that 20 million. And I think 25 is the very last push I'd go for. But 30 million pounds, you're talking, there's some class midfielders out there in Europe that play in Europe properly in the big leagues that you could get for 30 million pounds. And for me, I just think 30 million pounds for a player like Morgan Gibbs-White is absolutely obscene. As much as I like the player and as much as I like him, I just think that is ridiculous amounts. But I do want to ask people what they think, because, would you pay 25 million pounds for Morgan Gibbs-White, and would you pay 30 million pounds for Morgan Gibbs-White? Let's go that far. Would you pay 30 million pounds for Morgan Gibbs-White from Wolves? I mean, they've said that there might be space for him in their team next season. Bear in mind, possibly, selling him for that much money. I just think it's extortionate. So, yeah, as I want to know your thoughts on that, and I want everybody else to also comment. I know it's getting on a little bit late. We're going to be going in about 15 minutes. But I do want to discuss before we go, what are your thoughts on Morgan Gibbs-White? Do you think that £30 million is obscene as well? What about 25 million?
Mm. So it's something that actually I want to ask the guys in the chat, if because I'm not sure of the answer for it. What's the quota that you got to have for homegrown players in your squad, in your Premier League squad? Because that's going to obviously push his price up. You know, that's going to add to his price. And so I'm not going to not mention the comment I made right at the start about us as fans. If we ended up having to pay 30 million to get Morgan Gibbs-White in, and the club were willing to pay that, we shouldn't be moaning about that. We shouldn't be moaning about it. We don't know the true value of these players and any more than the club do, you know. But he is one that also said before that after we signed a 1 year that we would break that transfer record again, and I think we both agreed that it would probably be on Morgan Gibbs-White. Now, for me, if I like I say, without knowing, well, obviously behind the scenes of the financials and everything like that, I'd pay what it takes to get him in because I think he's a top quality player.
So
And
even 30 million.
yeah, up to 30 million. And I'll tell you why you can't compare. This is why I asked the question about the homegrown quota, because yes, you can get maybe better quality in Europe for that price, but what's a quota? You know, how many players are we allowed to have from Europe and from other nations? You know, so for me, he tormented us every single time he played us, and we were the best team in the championship, and he tormented us every single time. But he didn't have a bad game against us. You
No,
know,
I just think for me, I think 30, as much as I agree on the homegrown quota stuff, and, you know, as much as I think his playing ability and the fact that he was always good against us, you know, and he knows a lot about our tactics, really, you can tell he knows a lot about what we do. He's obviously done personal homework. And you know, to be fair, the Sheffield United manager, he's done his homework and told Morgan Gibbs-White to play a certain way against Forest,
yeah,
and it worked, and it very almost paid off. But for me, you know, I just think 30 million is way too much. I think someone's said here, yeah, 22, around 22 million. Yeah, Tim said that. I hope you're doing well, Tim. I think that's really about right. I would say 22.5 or whatever, 25 at the very, very, very biggest push.
yeah.
But I just think, you know, to what extent can Forest actually outbid the likes of Southampton and Crystal Palace? Because as much as we joke about it, like, Crystal Palace and Southampton have got a bit more money to spend
They're well run clubs.
overall.
Absolutely, they're two very well run clubs, and they're a good model to follow. But we should try and compete. You know, I don't think we should go. But that's what's pushing his price up. You know, like I said, if it was just us that were interested, but it's not just us. It's us, Everton, Crystal Palace, Southampton, and Wolves. So of course his price is going up. You know, Wolves would be foolish not to put his price up, but I think he's worth it. I genuinely think he's worth it, and I don't think we'll end up paying 30 million. That is just the ceiling that we're kind of like putting on this right now. But yeah, yeah, I think he's worth it. I genuinely think he's worth it. Yeah, 30 million would be if we're going to put a maximum, because we can't go up to all the way to 100 million for him, you know. But when we're talking about potential and the type of player he is, you know, he's going to get better and better. You know, 30 million might just be a snip in the ocean when you see his final valuation. And you mentioned this last time we spoke about Jack Grealish and Man City paying for potential. Now, if you have to pay 100 million for potential, you should be paying for the finished article for 100 million. You shouldn't be paying for
You
potential.
should be paying for someone that's already got world-class ability.
Absolutely.
You know,
So in my opinion, they've overpaid for him. You know, 100 million. Yeah, he's got to be a finished article, and maybe this season he will be. And I do really rate Jack Grealish. I like him as a player. I like him.
I do, but nah.
Exactly. Maybe he'll prove it. Maybe playing with Haaland will bring out the best in him. I think it looks like Raheem Sterling might be moving on, so that might open him a bit more. And that may have always been the plan, you know, that Grealish comes in and takes that position, you know. But I mean, we're not talking about Man City here. They've got, you know, wealth beyond our means at the moment. But for our level, we're competing against those teams, you know, because I believe as good a season as Palace had, they might be down there again. Southampton might be down there battling. So if they're the level that we're competing against, and to have that extra bit of edge, and he's not just a one position player, is he? He can play a multitude of positions across that front line. And I just think he'd be fantastic work. Just imagine it. Just imagine we've got him tomorrow and we're playing our first game and he's in there. And you got Brendan Johnson, you've got Morgan Gibbs-White, you've got Awoniyi, you've got, look at it. Think about it right now. You saying that's not going to be...
Oh, no. I agree because I want to see... Because I know that Morgan Gibbs-White can pass forward and can do... And is great on the attack. And he could be great for delivery to both Awoniyi and Johnson. But for me, £30 million, I just think that... Or 25 million... I just think that extra 5 or 10 million can go a really long way,
Yeah.
But that's my thought.
The main objective is to stay up, right? And the second objective is to be competitive and stay up, So whatever it takes, mate, whatever it takes. Listen, we've been selling our best players for the last 15, 20 years, and now it's an opportunity for us to buy some of the best players out there, and if we have to pay a little bit extra, we'll pay a little bit extra, but the club will do what is within their means and what is within their to do. So, they're not throwing money away, honestly. If we sign him and we pay the money that top end, I can't say that, he's not going to be worth it. I don't think any of us will say that once he's signed, but it's great to debate it because that's what this is all about.
Absolutely.
People have different opinions and different valuations, but I'd love to know the inner machinations of these deals and what goes on, behind the window and all that sort of stuff. But he's a player. I want to see him at Forest, and I've wanted to see him at Forest since we got promoted. So I hope we can get it. I think that everything points towards him coming to us, but we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. I think there's still a lot to be done. I know that there's interest there, no bids yet, but lots of different clubs vulturing almost around him. We've got Frederick here. Hello from Sweden. Oh, really glad that you're enjoying the stream. I hope that you've subscribed and stuff. I'd love to come to Sweden. Maybe that's the next door on tour / door on tour with friends. European extravaganza. I think Scandinavia may have to be the next location. So we've got people saying yes, Ross Barkley would be good. Yeah, potentially. I think Ross Barkley could be an option. Got a lot of Premier experience. Johnson isn't training at the moment, as some people have pointed out here, because he's been on international duty. So I think he's been given a bit of an extended break. He's been really, really busy, as I'm sure that David Jono would probably tell you on Twitter. But yeah, Brennan, he's been really, really busy with international duty with Wales, so a bit of an extended break for him. I would get Jesse Lingard. We're about probably 7 minutes until we need to go. I just want to touch on the Jesse Lingard thing before we start talking about Fantasy Prem for the last 7 minutes. For me, as much as I agree, and I think he would do well, because you saw him at West Ham, amazing. The wages would be a concern for me. I know that he wants fairly high wages. So for me, I think Henderson's wages were quite high, and I wouldn't really want to be venturing into another player that's on near those kind of wages, like I know that Lingard would be. But that's my concern. But I do want to talk to you all, and if you haven't already, there's 74 of you in now, so viewers, absolutely fantastic considering this time of night. If you can drop me a subscribe, that'd be absolutely amazing. We're on 494 subs now, so if we could do 500 by the end of the stream, that would be amazing, because I mean, I've been trying to do YouTube for many, many years on different channels, and this one I've really put a lot of effort into, and it seems that a lot of you are enjoying it. So if you can drop a sub, that'd be absolutely amazing. MGW gets stuck into ideal for zinc roll. Agree. But let's talk Fantasy Premier League now, because obviously yesterday was the day that you could start and join your leagues, etc. And I'm going to get Ez to reveal his team in a minute, if you possibly can.
No.
You can't reveal your team.
No, because I haven't done it yet. No, I literally just signed up. But I'm going to do it over the next couple of days. But no, you go first, mate. I'm appalled.
I must admit, I'm appalled by that. Now,
I've been
I
working
think
non-stop, literally. I
there's
come
no
and join.
excuse.
I know, no excuse.
There's no excuse. I'm so disappointed. Honestly, I'm so disappointed. I'm joking. I just can't get enough, says Frederick. Amazing. Lingard wants 150 per week. Nah, not for me. No transfer fee. I suppose there's an element of who leaves the club, but no, for me, I just think it's a big risk unless we got him on a year contract. Show them mine if you want, Jay. Yeah, I might actually show them your fantasy team there, Lewis. So let's have a quick look. Dean Henderson, for me, is my goalkeeper. I've got Cancelo on the right, Lamptey and Trippier in the middle, or Van Dijk in the middle kind of thing. Buendia, Luis Diaz, and Foden. And up front, I've got Johnson, Awoniyi, and Haaland as my attack. And on the bench, I've got Areola, Aya, St. Maxim, and Ward-Prowse. So, I think it's a fairly strong squad. I took Salah out the squad because of the fact that although as much as I think Salah's a really good player, for me, I just think that Luis Diaz is going to get that edge over him this season. I think he's young. He's a big prospect still. And I think a lot of work is going into that. But, I'm going to ask a non-FPL based question, but kind of relating it to this. Realistically, because I think people are not talking about Awoniyi enough for me. I just think it's almost like he's gone off the radar a little bit. What are your thoughts on Awoniyi? How many goals do you think he's going to get this season? We've got 4 minutes to go, so we'll ask a quick question to you there, Ez. How many goals do you reckon he's going to get?
Ooh. Well, I'm not going to... I hadn't thought about it, to be honest, until you just mentioned it now, but I think he's going to be a surprise element, definitely. Let's go for it. I'm going for 15.
You heard him say it, by the way. You've heard him. And I know that he knows how to clip YouTube videos.
Well, I'll sing the song if he gets it. No,
do you know what? I'm going to bring that up, actually. Because, guys, he sent me a clip yesterday. And I thought, I'm sure this was near the time that he was singing. So,
what I really like the one that Union Berlin did for him is I won't sing it because my sing's awful, but it's Casey and Jojo, na 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 na. Taiwo Awani, Taiwo.
There you go, guys. That's the culprit. That says that was him singing.
I'll be super honoured if I hear about the stadium one day, mate. That'd be amazing. But
I'll try and make it happen. I'll speak to Mark Dennison and I'll say, "Can you make this happen? I just want one song. As long as you don't take "Beautiful Day" by U2 off, I'm happy." Because that is a great song. My boy, you were flying 500 soon. DJ F3, absolute legend. Because I know Daniel from school, so Dan, great to hear from you. Get in contact, my friend. Definitely need a quality striker. Yeah, I think we need another one. I can imagine that'll be towards the end of the season. The transfer window. I think that they'll probably try and get strikers on a cheap, if I'm being honest. 8 mils a bargain for Diaz. 13 and 6. 16 and 9. 15 and 10. I like that. And Darth Brexit here. Whilst I've got another couple of minutes, I might slightly override it. Jay, whilst you're in Germany, raid the team hotel and get some interviews. That'll shoot you up to... I mean, do you know what? I am going to try and get interviews with the players. I know that Mr. Door's going to want to be there. So I think me and him are probably going to go down early. And I'm going as media anyway, so I'll be able to get a pass to go and see them all. So interviews, stuff like that, it's all going to be happening. Me and Dora are going to Germany alongside Megaphone Man and a guy called Billy and Phil Wilkinson. If you're listening, that man is a legend. So yeah, Red's on tour as well. That's on YouTube. But we're going to be going to Germany. We're going to Berlin specifically, like bang smack in the middle. So it's going to be absolutely amazing. And we're going to be bringing you some vlogging, some live streams as well. We're going to be doing a lot in Germany, as well as maybe having the odd beer as well. So that's going to be really, really good. So yeah, Germany, here we come. I'm missing the last day of school to make it happen. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be really fun. All my teachers know I'm going to Germany, except for the head of year. So that's going to be really fun to have to deal with when they call me up asking where I am and I'm on a Ryanair flight. But there you go. We're about to finish the stream, guys. But before we go, we've got Mike here. Thursday, 8 a.m. in Australia. Another good signing. I like the looks of Forest building a good squad. Wow, Mike, amazing to have you join us.
You're
all the
going
way from
global.
Australia.
You had one
Oh,
from India the other day, didn't you? And you had Australia today and Sweden. Yeah,
Sweden.
fantastic.
Wow, we've got one from Iceland as well. I know we've had people from the US and Canada. So, guys, if you could just drop us a subscribe, that'd be amazing. Because we are so close to 500. We're 5 subs off it. And it would mean a lot. I can see some of you leaving now because I know it is getting on a little bit and it is a Wednesday night. So, yeah, guys, if you can subscribe, we're back tomorrow at 8 p.m. So a little bit earlier for you. Doran Tour knows that, though, in case he's doing a stream. We'll be talking a bit more in depth about Steve Cooper's contract situation. I know we didn't really get to cover it tonight. We're going to be talking also a little bit about more on Neco Williams, more than we've spoken about tonight. Some other transfer links as well, because I know there'll be more tomorrow. And who knows, maybe McGugan will respond to that terrible mishap on the Derby website. Who knows? But from me, Anez, it's been an absolutely fantastic night. I'm sorry that we had to make it a fairly short stream, but we're back tomorrow at 10 p.m. So peace out, everybody. I've got to be up at 6:30, so wishing you all the best. Ready for me to win? No way. It's me that's having this. Have a great night, everybody. It's been great speaking to you. And as more importantly, thank you for joining me. And maybe see you tomorrow night.
Yeah, we'll try. So it was 8 p.m., isn't it? Not. I think you just said 10 p.m. Yeah.
Did I say 10 p.m.? 8 p.m.
Yeah, but no worries. Yeah, I'll do my best, mate. As soon as I get home from work, after I've done my workout, I'll give you a shout. Yeah, and but you guys get started. Hopefully, I'll join you. Definitely.
Fantastic. Well, great having you. Dean, thank you for joining from Portugal, my friend. Please all subscribe if you can. And thank you all for listening. Back to